Hey guys, so your objective today is to complete frames and arrow diagrams by using all four operations. So when we think about operations in math, we are looking at them being addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Those are our types of operations in math. After the video lesson, you will work on a math journal, page 58. And in this activity, you're going to be solving number stories. You also complete a home link, which is the frames and arrows home link, and then you will do a round of extra math to practice your math facts. So I want to start out by looking at different patterns that we have in numbers because that'll help us with that'll help us with solving the frames and arrows problems. Number one has three numbers already written, and we need to figure out the next three numbers. So when I look at this, I can see that my numbers are increasing from 37 to 40 to 43. Now I need to know by how much. And from 37 to 40, they are adding 3. So I'm going to say plus 3 over the top. From 40 to 43 is another plus 3 or adding 3. So because I see 2 plus 3's, then it makes me think that my rule is going to be to add 3. So 43 plus 3 is 46. 46 plus 3 is 49. And then 49 plus 3 is 52. So that's how I would complete that line of missing numbers. Number 2 says 27, 25, blank, and then 21. I'm noticing that these numbers are decreasing. So when a number decreases, then I will be subtracting. So from 27 to 25, that is minus 2. Now, I'm kind of stuck because I don't have the next number, so I'm going to see if I subtract 2, if that'll work. So 25 minus 2 is 23, and then I'm going to subtract 2 to see if it does, in fact, make 21. So when I do 23 minus 2, that does make 21. I'm going to go 21 minus 2 is 19, and then 19 minus 2 is 17. So my answers should be 23, 19, and then 17. Number 3, I'm looking at my numbers 1, 2, 4, 8. And I know that my numbers are increasing, so if I add, I could do 1 plus 1 would be 2, but then 2 plus 4 is 2 plus 2 is 4, so it would be adding 2, but then from 4 to 8, that's plus 4. So I'm not really seeing a good pattern with adding. So I think what I might need to do is to look at multiplication, because again, I'm still getting larger. So if I say from 1 to 2, I could do 1 times 2 equals 2. So then if I did 2 times 2, that equals 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So I think I'm going to keep going with my times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. So on this problem, I was increasing by multiplying by 2 or doubling. Now, number 4 is a little bit tricky because I don't have my beginnings, but I do have some in the middle. From 36 to 33 is getting smaller, so I think I'm going to have to subtract. 36 minus 3 equals 33. Now, I'm missing that number, so I'm just going to have to hope that my key is to subtract 3. So 33 minus 3 is 30. And then I'm going to think about it, and 30 minus 3 is 27. So I know that from left to right, I'm subtracting 3. But now the problem is going backwards. So if I go this way to the right, I'm subtracting, but if I work backwards, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 3. So 36 plus 3 is 39, and I can check it by saying 33 minus 3 is 36, so that works. Still going to the left, I'm going to add 39 plus 3 is 42. Again, I can check it. 42 minus 3 does equal 39. So finding out these number patterns is going to help us with our frames and arrows. This is in your book on page 57, so make sure that you are grabbing your math journal and going to page 57 and filling in with me. Just a review with frames and arrows, the boxes or the circles, those contain the numbers. So we're going to be filling in those boxes. That is those are the numbers that are in the pattern. The arrows, so we've got arrows across the top, and then you have the arrow right here. The arrow describes the rule. So we find our rule in our box on the left side, and the arrow is telling us how the number changes from one frame to the next frame. So for number 1, the rule is +5. So when I go from the first frame, I'm going to use my arrow and I'm going to change it by adding 5. All right, so this is number 1 in your book. Again, that is page 57. Is that what I said? Hang on a second. Let me get this to disappear. 57. So you're going to turn in your book to page 57 and follow along with me as I go through these problems. So like I said before, the rule is +5. So here's my rule. Every time I see an arrow, I'm going to add 5. So I like to put that up here at the top just to remind me so I know what I'm doing. Every arrow is +5. So I'm going to start out at 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. 20 plus 5 is 25. It's already filled in for me. 25 plus 5 is 30. And then 30 plus 5 is 35. So that one's pretty simple. We just use the addition operation. Looking at the next one, now this is a different type of arrow because I don't know what my rule is. I have to figure out what's happening every time we make a jump. So one thing that I notice when I make jumps, I start at 75 and then I go to 70, so my number decreases. Anytime that my number decreases, if I can spell decrease right, anytime my number decreases, it is going to get smaller. And if my number is getting smaller, I'm probably going to be subtracting. I could be dividing. So on this problem, I'm decreasing from 75 to 70, and it's not a very big decrease, so I'm actually taking away 5. I don't know my next jump, so I'm going to have to hope that it's -5 and see if that works. So 70 minus 5 equals 65. And now I can check to see if that worked. 65 minus 5 is in fact 60. So then I can keep finishing up and say 60 minus 5 is 55. And then 55 minus 5 equals 50. So on this problem, I needed to fill in my frames, but I also need to make sure that I fill in my rule, and my rule was -5. All right, looking at the next one, my rule is given to me, and it is times 1. Remember, anything times 1 is the other number. So if one of the factors is 1, it's the other number. So if I think about this, it's kind of silly because anything times 1 is going to be 1. So every time I do a number and I multiply times 1, I'm still going to have that number. 8 times 1 is still going to be 8. 8 times 1 is still going to be 8. 8 times 1 is still going to be 8. So 8 times 1 is going to be an 8 here. That also means that when I start off, I'm 8, so 8 times 1 is 8. Kind of a silly problem. I think sometimes we get tricked up because it's easier than what we think it should be. But this really is all 8s. All right, number 4, remember we said we were going to be dividing by 2. And remember, dividing by 2 means to split in half. So if I take 24 and I divide it by 2, if I take 48 and I divide by 2, it does equal 24. The other thing that I want to remember in checking this is that anytime I divide by 2, I have to have an even number. If my number isn't even, then I can't equally divide. So 24 divided by 2 is 12. 12 divided by 2, so I can think about 12 and putting them into 2 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 6 in this group, 6 in this group. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. And then 6 divided by 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 3 in each group. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. All right. So you guys are going to continue working on solving these problems. Remember, you have a math journal, page 58, to complete. Then you will be doing your home link, which is a Cami page that looks pretty similar to this, where you have some frames and arrows that you're going to be completing. And then I want you to do a round of extra math. If you have any questions, let me know.